Hello, good morning, students. Today we're going to be doing lesson 6 here. I'll walk you through a couple problems here to make sure you know how to do that. Um, we're all clear on how to do that. You'll be able to complete that during class and then finish the exit slip by the end. Okay. Lesson 6, and this is kind of our last one here, following these same things here in GEMS. So, we're continuing with order of operations and making sure we're following that order of operations. Again, sometimes we've used the acronym PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, but generally we're going to use this one called GEMS. And so you should have notes on this from last week as well. But really quick, if we forget what the GEMS stand for, this tells us the order to do any of our operations in when trying to solve problems. So the G, of course, stands for grouping. So grouping might be parentheses, might be brackets, might be absolute value bars like that. It can even be if you're looking at a large problem with a large division sign, uh, you gotta say 3 minus 2 over whatever 6. You got to do the top first, right? Because it really kind of groups it as well before you can divide, right? So anyway, this is our grouping, right? E is going to stand for our exponents, right? Like 3 to the second power, 4 to the third power, something like that. Okay. Whatever that power is, squared or cubed or 10th power, that's our exponents. So first we're starting with grouping symbols, then doing any exponents. Then we're doing multiplying and dividing from left to right. So again, going left to right, multiplying and dividing. So if you have dividing first, say this is 9 minus 9 times 3 divided by whatever 1, doesn't matter, right? We got to go left to right first. Okay, so doing the multiplying, then dividing, going left to right. And then our addition and subtraction, so that's our S there. So subtract and add left to right. Okay, so again, left to right. And this is really important with subtraction and addition, that we do it left to right, so that we don't make any mistakes. Okay. All right. Great. So let's look at a couple problems really quick here, and then you guys will be able to complete this here on your own. All right. Let's look maybe at, maybe we'll try maybe like 3 problems here. All right. So try this with me as we go. Okay. So we have 5 squared, 90 minus 5 squared times 3. So we look at our gems, and which do we do first? So grouping. There's no real grouping here, right? So we don't have to worry too much about that. Then we're up to E for exponents. So E for exponents. Do we have any exponents? Sure we do. We have this square there, right? 5 to the second power. So we're going to do that. And as we do it, we make that calculation. Then we just carry the rest of the numbers down. So we have 90 minus 5 squared. And 5 squared is 5 times 5. And 5 times 5 is 25. So I'm just going to write it as minus 25 times 3. Again, rewrite every line. Don't try to just write equals and then just put an answer. That's where we're going to make mistakes, okay? So it's worth it. I know it seems like it's longer, it seems like it's extra work, but if you don't rewrite these, you will more likely make a mistake. And they get more complicated, they get harder. So definitely, please do yourself a favor and rewrite those. Okay, next up we have, so we did exponents, now we're doing multiplication and division left to right. So you might be tempted to go 90 minus 25, but again, we're at the M, we have to do that first. So that little dot, of course, is a multiplication symbol. So we have to do that first, right? So 25 times 3 is 75. And again, I'm just going to carry down the rest of our numbers, and then we can finally subtract there. 90 minus 75, we're at the last one, subtracting, adding left to right. 90 minus 75, do that in your calculator, do it in your head, do it on paper, you'll get 15. Okay, great. Great. Let's look number 4 here real quick. Number 4, again, gems, starting with G, grouping. So with our G, we're going to do what's inside that grouping symbol there, that parentheses first. So you have 6 minus 5. What is 6 minus 5? It's going to be 1. Okay. So I'm just going to rewrite that as 1 squared, and we have this 3/4 next to that. Okay. We should remember with this 3/4 next to the parentheses, that really is means multiplication, right? There's kind of an invisible multiplication sign there anytime you have a number next to a set of parentheses. Okay. So we have 1 there inside that grouping symbol, but there's nothing to do in there anymore. And we still have that square there. So next would be the e of gems, the exponent. So we have 1 squared, which is 1 times 1. And we, of course, know 1 times 1 is 1. So now we're left with just 1. And again, I'm just writing the multiplication like that. Okay, so we have 1 times 3/4. And then 1 times 3/4 is, of course, just 3/4. There we have it. Okay. All right. Let's look at maybe one more problem here on the back. As you go through these here, this one's going to have multiple answers when they say choose all that apply. So you might have to figure out a few of these to figure out what's the correct answer there. Translating our, for this one here, translating our expressions, our words into expressions. Similar here, we're looking at making parentheses around here to make this true. So this is a little bit of a fun puzzle here. How do you make this true? Where do the parentheses go? Are they going to go around here first? Do that first, do that first, do this first. What do you have to do to get a value of 1? Okay. So you're doing a little kind of trial and error there. Okay. All right. And let's look at one more here on the back. I'm going to look at number 9 really quick because I think these bars might throw a few people off. But those are absolute value bars. So remember absolute value? So whatever you have a number inside of the absolute value, it's really that distance to 0. So the absolute value of 3 is 3. The absolute value of -3 is also 3. Okay. So the absolute value of the number when it comes out, when all you've done all the operations on the inside, whatever's left, that should be a positive number. Okay. All right. So if we're doing gems, that'd be G. Our first one, we'll do our grouping right here. So to do our grouping, 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is that first grouping there. So that's 4. And we're saying the absolute value of 4. And of course, we know the absolute value of 4, distance to 4, from distance to 0 from 4 is 4. So now we have 4. And I'm just going to write times 4 plus 6. So that was we did our G, our grouping. We look at the E, exponents. No exponents here. So we go on to M, multiply and divide left to right. So we're going to multiply left to right there. Right, 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, and now we're up to add and subtract left to right. So we're just going to add that 6. 16 plus 6, 22. And we have our solution. Okay, so to get complete as much as we can during this time here, and then try that exit slip. Okay, and if you don't finish the exit slip, that is homework. All right, that's all. Let me know if you have questions. You've got a great teacher to help you out today. All right, have a good day.